for some digital magic to help you through your week? The Kingdom Report is here for you, covering the latest Disneyland and Disney World news, experiences, and events. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Kingdom Report Live so you never miss an update. And drop a subscribe on the Kingdom Report YouTube channel for new videos every week. Don't miss out. Join this growing community of theme park fans as we aim to connect you to more of what makes you happy. For more information, visit KingdomReportLive.com. And now, back to the magic.
And if magic to you is winning your very own Kingdom Report mug, you are in luck. All you have to do to win your own mug is leave the phrase of pace underneath this very video, right after the live show is over. The phrase of pace this week is Haunted Mansion Holiday. Haunted Mansion Holiday is the phrase that pays this week. You have between now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time in which to enter. If you are the winner, we will reach out to you and get that mug shipped your direction by entering Haunted Mansion Holiday underneath this video right after the live show. And on today's broadcast, Disneyland has announced the return timeline for Fantasmic finally. Can't wait to share it with you. And the Disneyland Resort is cracking down on professional pin traders, what that means for your pin obsession and more. Plus, a snowfall treatment is coming to the downtown Disney district this year. We'll talk about it. In addition to that, Disney has tapped a Pepsi Company veteran to be their new CFO. And we all heard that Disney is planning on turbocharging the parks for the sake of future investments and getting success out of the company once again. However, we now have a timeline as to what that looks like, and yeah, it might just be even further than you anticipated. All that and so much more today, as we are joined once again by Tyler Crouch, Katrina Manzone, Garrett Hassel, and I'm with you too. I'm Wade Heath, your host for this edition of Disney News Talk Live. And it starts for you straight ahead. Disney News Talk Live. My goodness, it is great to be back with you once again for this installment of all the Disney news, coast to coast and around the Walt Disney Company. All the things worth filling you in on, we have for you here today as mentioned, and we cannot wait for you to hear it all and to sound off on exactly what you think. After all, Disney News Talk Live is about your opinions, your Disney parks perspective. We are always looking for your feedback here, and therefore this show is designed around it, really specifically to be a bit of a platform for you. After all, whenever we do our studio show and you see our ugly mugs in person, or maybe just my ugly mug in person, it's all about our opinions and perspectives typically when we are on camera. But this time around, this particular show, it is all about your opinions, your Disney parks perspective. So sound off in live chat. We know many of you that end up watching this are usually watching from a TV or device, and therefore we ask if you can jump on into the live chat and join us. Well, it makes it all that much more fun. Fred already chiming in saying, I'm ready for more zingers from Garrett. I hope everyone is doing well today. Fred, as always, I too am looking for more zingers from Garrett. Terry saying it's great to share a Saturday afternoon with you all. Terry, it's always a joy to have you here with us on top of everything else. It means a lot. And it looks like Johan saying you guys make each Saturday awesome with Disneyland news and updates. Johan, you being here makes it even more awesome. Thank you for that. And Lori Jean also dropping in today saying hello. Great to see you all. D. McGee as well. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Disney News Talk Live. As mentioned at the top, lots of stories to get to, lots of things to share with you. But first, let's introduce the gang. It looks like here with me once again this time around, Garrett Hassel. Back with the zingers, are you? You with us, Garrett? Unfortunately, I can't hear him. So, Garrett, go ahead, reset, and we'll bring you back on. Sorry about that, bud. All right, so go ahead and remove him, get him a chance to set back up and join us again. We are going to bring ourselves a little bit of Tyler Crouch on board. Hey, Tyler, how's it going, bud?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
Feeling fantastic. Thrilled to have you with us. As always, it's always a joy to get you back after a bit of a trip. I know you and Katrina both out in Florida recently, and certainly have had an opportunity to hang out Disneyland side this week. And speaking of Katrina, I believe she's with us as well. Hey, Katrina.
Oh my gosh. Hi, guys. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening.
All of it.
All of them.
Not say good night because it's
All
not
those.
time to go.
This is true. You never know when people are going to be watching this broadcast, and therefore, it is entirely possible. This could be night, this could be morning, this could be afternoon, depending on where they are. So, always grateful to cover the bases. Garrett, did you get a chance to reset yourself? Are you with us?
I am
There he
indeed.
is.
I was in thinking of the zingers. I was thinking of the Mount Melt zingers that you can get at a few places around Orlando, and I am all about that. But I'm also happy to be on the show.
Well, it means an awful lot.
A mountain of zingers? What?
Have you ever been to a Miller's Ale House?
No.
No.
No. At Miller's Ale House, they have Mount Melt zingers, which are pretty much chicken tenders, which are the zingers, on top of French fries with bacon, cheese, chives, and it's just a orchestra of unhealthiness, but it's so good. And those are the zingers.
That sounds
Yeah.
This sounds. I think we're on board.
Eventually, it'll make its way to Epcot, but it's going to be a while. When you're
Yeah.
CEO, you'll make it happen. I promise.
You know,
Coming
push
soon.
that initiative.
You know, at Food and Wine, they had this. It's the Impossible, like buffalo chicken tenders, and it is kind of what you're saying, but all of it is impossible. Impossible
Okay.
blue cheese, impossible chicken, and it's actually really good. So
All
I
right,
could see that happening.
let's do it. Is there a bone in there or no bone?
No. I mean,
Okay.
bones inherently are not impossible.
Okay. Well, I just had to make sure there's not like, it's got the real kind of bone broth flavor. It's like, oh, that shouldn't be there.
No. No bones.
No.
No bones.
And I'm getting hungry.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
I know. I'm
Hey.
hungry too.
Big question we have for everybody this week. Which Disney Park entertainment act helps you feel the holiday magic? So I guess what one act, more than anything that you see from coast to coast, any Disney park that you happen to encounter, what one entertainment act helps you feel closer to that holiday magic, really sets the tone for you? Katrina, I know you are an elf in residency for us. You are Santa's little helper. You are all of those things when it comes to Christmas. Is there any one particular entertainment act that helps you feel that holiday magic?
Viva Navidad. It's just so good.
Yeah.
You just like the music just starts playing and then you just want to dance and then just have fun and then Mickey and Minnie come out and then you're like ready. You're just like ready for Christmas. Also, like just the music in general when you enter it in, like it doesn't even have to be like live entertainment. It just has to be the music that you feel when you walk into like Main Street, or like the music that you do when you walk into like DCA and like the festival holidays are happening, and then you just like get that vibe.
Love that. That's
Yeah.
absolutely high energy, high impact. One of my favorites as well. Garrett, when you think about holiday-themed entertainment at the Disney parks, what stands out to you?
For me, it's always you got to go to Norway and you got to see my good friend, the Barn Santa, because he's a little mischievous and he has
He
a lot
is.
of fun. And whenever I see him performing, because they moved his location, he used to be right outside of Akershus, but now it's in front of the meet and greet for
Akershus?
Anna and Elsa over in Akershus. But I love Barn Santa just because he's got such an iconic voice and just the little antics he does. And if you get the chance to meet him after or interact with him, he's just so fun. And for me, that just really gets me going. I love Père Noël and I love Father Christmas, but Barn Santa, he gets it for me, and I love every bit of it. It used to be Illuminations, during the holidays, but that's no longer there. So Barn Santa's my dude.
He is mischievous. That's for sure. He likes to call out loudly and beckon all children to come his way. He is one of my favorite things to see at Epcot. That is for sure. Thanks for sharing. Tyler, we know that your favorite season of Halloween has come to a close, but with the holidays upon us, any sort of entertainment acts that stand out to you as the most magical of holiday season treats?
You know, I don't want to have there be any mistakes made. I do love Halloween, but Christmas is great. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I do love Christmas, so I'm not.
I like how that never ends well. It's like, it's great. Okay, go ahead.
No.
Ahead.
What do you mean it never ends well? There was no but. I had no but. Christmas is great. That was all. I mean, that's the end of that statement. I mean, I'm as happy as all of you are to have Christmas around. Halloween is my favorite. That doesn't mean I hate Christmas. I'm not no Scrooge or anything like that. So
no, he did get excited when I decorated the tree and he came out to look at the ornaments and stuff.
I like Christmas. You guys, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, guys. Don't worry about it. I am going to say, Katrina kind of took, Viva Navidad is like, that is a sign for Southern Californians that Christmas has begun. I mean, that nobody can dispute that. But, I really love Fat Cat Swingers as well, which is just this great big jazz band that comes out, every holiday time. And they're always a lot of fun to see. And I am not Jewish at all, but I have to say, like, Mostly Kosher always gets me. I love every time Mostly Kosher is out there in California Adventure. I love to stop and watch them for a little bit, and they really let me know that the holidays is here for everybody, and I'm super here for it. And they even used to. There was one year they did an offshoot of Mostly Kosher over in Epcot too, so I got to watch them on both coasts one year, so that really made my holidays.
That makes it full kosher.
Exactly.
Right.
That was fully kosher. You're 100% correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love that. Thank you.
Double up that kosher.
So yeah, I mean, I think for me, those are my top three: Fat Cat Swingers, Viva Navidad, Mostly Kosher.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Well, Katrina,
100%.
I saw Terry agreeing with you. Viva Navidad is where it's at. Here.
Yeah, man. It's just so good. You hear the music and then you just start vibing. I mean, you could just hear it even just down the way. Cause I mean, it's like pretty far into DCA, but you can just hear it from like afar and you're just like excited and happy at the same time. And then I have like a honorable mention. It's not really entertainment. I mean, you can be, but the facade of Small Worlds, it just is beautifully lit. It's just so pretty at night. And then sometimes I think they still do it. I don't really know about this year. You never know when they start like cutting stuff. But they used to have like the little projections and stuff every now and then throughout the night.
Yeah.
That would happen.
Every 15 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really fun. It's like a fun little entertainment. And then like the snow falls over there too. So it's just magical. I love that area.
Yes.
It's so great.
I know you do. Yeah. And that coming around the bend on the monorail, I remember you sharing that a few years ago.
Yeah.
Seeing everything lit up like a winter wonderland.
I was getting excited because we came like on the 7th just to we had like a little staycation for the day. But that night we went to go have dinner over at Disneyland to go try Tiana's. And I was like, oh my God, we have to go to Small Worlds. I have to see it. And it was like pitch black. And it was so depressing. They're like, we will not get the lights yet. Not now. Not until 2 days from now.
Yeah, we turned the corner over by Matterhorn, and she's like, I can't believe it. Just why don't they have any light? I'm like, they don't want people to come to the attraction when it's not open yet. I mean,
How dare you?
You gotta let it breathe. It's like a nice fine wine, right? You kind of put the lights on, you let it breathe, and then when it's ready, we take a little sip. It'll be all ready.
That's right. Savor.
Yeah.
Savor it.
You sip and you savor.
That's what it's all about. You mentioned your staycation this week. Something we wanted to touch on is the opening of the new Disneyland Hotel Tower Bar, the Palm Breeze Bar. Interestingly enough, SF Gate wrote up a piece about this. They said, it's a good time for dining at Disneyland. In the last 2 months, the resort has opened Tiana's Palace, the Princess and the Frog themed restaurant in New Orleans Square, and the lounge at the Disneyland Hotel, a low-key upscale lobby bar open in the evening, serving classic cocktails and shareable plates. They go on to say that now there's a third brand new dining option, and on Thursday, Disneyland opened Palm Breeze Bar, also in the Disneyland Hotel. The all-outdoor restaurant is technically the pool bar for the new Discovery Tower of the hotel, but calling it a pool bar is underselling the experience, they say. Yes, you'll definitely be enjoying your meal alongside people wrapped in towels, fresh from the tower's private pool, but you'll also be eating some of Disneyland's most exciting food. The menu feels distinctly Southern Californian, with Mexican and Asian-influenced items as well as a fair amount of comfort food. Among the shareable plates are the ahi tuna with aji amarillo ponzu. I think I'm saying that right. Crispy wontons, and as well as ceviche-style martini glass of fresh fish, Gulf shrimp, snow crab, and avocado, and cheese fry poutine with demi-glace, cheese, sauce, chive, sour cream, and pimento. The rest of the menu has salads like the heirloom beet salad with baby kale, and it sounds like there's also a burger and a plant-based garden pizza with romesco sauce, and it's getting interesting reviews. So SFGate sort of praising it here. However, when I say interesting, I do mean interesting by way of our own Tyler and Katrina, who had an opportunity to experience it. We have some images here that you shared on social media of some of the food that you enjoyed. Let's start with these dishes. What did you guys think?
You go ahead, Katrina.
Okay. Okay, so on one side is the chicken salad. So I got the Southwest type of chicken salad. I said I wanted it gluten-free. They said okie dokie. It comes out and they serve it normally in like a flour tortilla, like a fried flour tortilla bowl.
Okay.
So it came out with a flour tortilla bowl, and I said that's not gluten-free. And then the guy was like, yes, it is. And I was like, no, it's not. And then so they sent it back, but then it comes out, So I just want to let you know, without the chicken, okay, it is a $22 salad with zero chicken. So so don't let the gem lettuce fool you. They just put it around the sides to make it look pretty. And then underneath is romaine. And then on the side is like canned corn that they charred, canned beans, pre-grated cheese.
I think the canned corn even came pre-charred. I don't think they charred it.
Maybe. I mean, you never know.
I don't think they charred it. Yeah.
I guess I won't give it the honor of saying they charred it. And then the tomatoes were cut like probably yesterday. And then the avocado they cut, and then they put in like a lemon stuff so it doesn't go brown. All of that said, that is $22. And then if you wanted the chicken, it was like an extra $9. And
wow,
so
that's
chicken,
a lot.
$9
for
so for like a $31 salad. And then
where's
I'm
this
gonna let
chicken
you
coming
know
from?
now.
Right.
It's frozen.
Mickey's
So then-
It's frozen.
I get it, and I'm so excited because we literally waited. I'll have Tyler tell the story because he makes it so great and so dramatic, but it's so powerful. But after waiting for like over 90 minutes for a stupid salad, I was like excited for like warm chicken, and it was ice cold. Like literally came out of the freezer. They defrosted it, cut it up, put it on the salad, and I was just laughing because I was just like, I cannot believe that everybody's giving this high praise. Because it is literally frozen chicken that's ice cold with everything is like pre-made ingredients for $31. And then the dressing was just sad. So anyway, and then I had to ask for like salt and pepper, and that took a while. Anyway, all in all, this was like the worst meal I've ever had. Like I could literally get a kid's meal over at Tangaroa Terrace for like $12, and I can at least get like a bowl of rice, a couple pieces of chicken, or a couple pieces of salmon, and some broccoli for like $13, and I would be more than happy. And then this was, I mean, yeah, given the salad's big, I'll give you that, but not for $31. Like this was just a joke, and I'll never get it again.
That's $31. Just sounds absurd. Like
the most expensive salad is $38 because with the Southwest salad, because the steak is an add-on, and I think it was like an extra $16. So I don't even want to know. Like I was curious about the steak because I was like, because I asked the manager, okay, I'll give you this. So the manager came over, apologized a couple times, but not in a good way. But anyway, so the manager was like, I was like, okay, well, he's like, how is the salad? And I was like, I'm gonna let you know the chicken is ice cold. Like it is literally frozen. They defrosted it, cut it up, put it on the salad. And he was like, "Oh, I'll let the kitchen know." I'm like, "Well, what does the kitchen have to do with it?" And then I asked him about the salmon and the steak. I was like, "Are those served hot?" And he couldn't give me an answer.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, ugh. $38 for a salad and it's like cold beef. I would be like, ugh.
I feel like we should like back up and kind of talk about like our full experience, because
Sure.
it really became like pardon me. It really became like we ordered our food, and then we sat there for an hour until our food was out,
An hour for this?
Yeah, I mean, so
And mind
again,
you, the bartender
again,
was
like,
very cognizant about it and just kept pushing
the
the
like,
bartender was legit awesome. He was great.
the bartenders were great, and that was the thing we loved about it, was they were incredible. They knew what was going on. They could see what was going on. They shared with us what happened was not what they strive for. And also they were just super friendly. So we had a great time with them. They made great drinks. They had nothing to do with this. They were great customer service. It was really just like, so we waited so long for the food to come out, and if we didn't know any better, Katrina could have gotten pretty sick for eating that tortilla. Like if you're unfamiliar with your allergy, like who knows? So we sent the food back, the first time. The second time it came back out, and then my food had a gluten-free bun on it. Like, and I got the burger, right? So then my food came with the gluten-free bun. And I'm like, okay, well, I just want the regular bun, like, please, So then we sent it back again for the third time. The third time it finally came out correct, but except for the fact that I had asked for, you can see in the background of my burger photo, we got the poutine, and the poutine was pretty decent. It's $19 for a big stack of fries with cheese, and it has also fried cheese curds. And then
it looks good.
It has, I actually think this one is a decent, like, this was a lot of food, actually. So
okay, so 19 is justifiable for this, you think?
I think if you and 3 friends sit down and they're like, yeah, let's have, like, we're gonna have some fries to snack on, I think $5 a person isn't a bad ask, So I think that this made sense. But since I was getting so many fries, I asked for fruit with my burger, So the third time it came out, and my burger had fries, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just kind of over asking for this to be fixed, And at that point, I think we were already. I think this is also just kind of a side note for anybody who wants to try Palm Breeze. If you're staying at the hotel and you think to yourself, hey, it's the pool bar, so I'm going to lounge by the pool and I'm going to enjoy some Palm Breeze, some food, some drinks, sadly, you'll be mistaken. So the menu is extremely limited at the pool. You're not going to be able to find the items that you would want from Palm Breeze at the pool. So I was already a little bit irritated that I thought, well, maybe I couldn't, I'm just going to go and sit at the pool and I'll just enjoy the food over here. Again, sadly, I was mistaken, and I can't do that. They won't bring me. And my server also said, to top it off, if I were to go up to the bar and ask, hey, can I get this to go? I'm going to eat it by the pool. They would have told me no.
What is going on?
Yeah.
They would have said, no, you can't have that. And even my server was saying, the manager saw people getting food to go and he wasn't happy about it. And I was like, and so, I've already had, I haven't been able to do what I want to do. We spent money to stay at this hotel for the night, and I can't lounge at the pool and eat this food. And it would be one thing if we're talking about different kitchens and different bars. No, the drinks come from the same bar and the food comes from the same kitchen.
This is crazy.
So basically what they're doing is they're fabricating some other menu, like, just to, I don't know. And the manager let us know too, that this one kitchen, it's the lounge kitchen, the new Disneyland, the old steakhouse kitchen. That's the kitchen that's doing this. And they're doing it for the lounge. I think they're also doing some room service or something. So the manager came out, and after they had failed at bringing the food they were supposed to 3 times, they told us, it's because there's like 5 kitchens in one, I'm like, well, that's not an
Don't blame the
excuse.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Blame
Don't-
yourself.
yeah.
You just built a brand new hotel. Wouldn't you
Yeah.
figure that out?
Yeah.
You
Not
know?
prepared for that.
So I mean, at that point, I kind of straight up told him. I said, "You guys seem like you're kind of doing bad business right now because I can't get I can't go order from the pool. The fact that you have a different menu at the pool and at the Palm Breeze sounds like it's complicating the kitchen, making it
hmm
harder for them to get food out. So why are we doing this? Like, it doesn't make any sense,
Yeah. And then I want to point out too is like the prices for the food that are at the pool bar are like the same prices where you would have to get up and sit at the bar, but the burger's worse.
Ugh.
Like because it's just a plain cheeseburger
Yeah.
for
But
$26
if
versus
we're
the
looking at
burger that
this,
Tyler got and he got it for the same price.
I want everybody to realize that's watching this right now that when we're looking at this pricing for this outdoor bar that serves drinks in plastic cups and food on plastic trays, that they're charging you Carthay Circle Napa Rose prices for
More
this
than
food.
that.
So, I mean, we're talking about $22 cocktails.
Wow.
So I mean, if you're
They're
just
not that great.
be prepared to spend a lot of money if you want to spend time at this bar. And I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt and be like, they're still figuring a lot of this stuff out. So we can't be, I'm not going to be too upset
Mhm.
that they're still figuring these things out. But I just think it's like, if I go sit over on the other side of the pool at Disneyland Hotel, right? They'll give me the pool menu over there, and it won't have Trader Sam's drinks on it, and it's even missing a couple of Trader Sam's items
Sure.
Mhm.
on the food menu. However, I could say, could I please get a zombie? And they'll say, yeah, of course you can have a zombie. Could I please get some green beans? Oh yeah, of course you can have some fried green beans.
Yeah.
But for them to tell me they will not bring me Palm Breeze stuff to the pool, I was like blown away by it. So I think when you're charging this price, I expect a much better level of service than they delivered, and I also expect the food to be better than mediocre. And I mean, you don't have to even look at this. Look at the salad on the left. You don't even have to taste that to see that we could have bought that at Del Taco.
I was gonna say this looks like something from Carl's Jr. That was in the
Yeah.
back of my mind.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Like, how
That
was your
looks- I
burger?
mean,
Because your
that's-
burger was it had good ingredients on it.
Yeah, I mean, the burger was good. And it's the same burger they have everywhere. With different toppings. It literally is the same exact meat, so you just have to realize, and it was really good. It was really good, but I think that you have to take everything into account when I say that food was good, because it's just, I mean, you can go to Lamplight Lounge and spend a lot less money, and you'll have probably a more cohesive experience because they've been doing it for longer. So I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
see.
'Cause, like, the
I'm
burger
gonna keep.
he had was like a pesto burger with burrata cheese and sun-dried tomatoes, right? Which seemed like really good.
It was
And
really
then
good. Yeah.
and it was great. And they gave him extra pesto, which I kind of used for my salad. But then when you get and that was $26. But then the pool burger is just flat out cheddar cheese.
Yeah.
That's
Cheddar
it.
cheese and cheddar
For
cheese and
$26,
Thousand
the
Island
same
dressing.
sides. It's just kind of like, what are you doing? And then
Yeah.
also the drink prices, like the bottle prices for wine compared to glass prices for wine. I went on this like whole mathscapade of like what, like, how are they making up these prices? You know what I mean? Because some don't equal how much the bottle is. So if you order like 4 glasses of wine per bottle, let's say, they don't make sense,
Sure.
I was like, who does the math here? because none of it makes sense. Like the cheapest thing is like a Dow Cabernet for $15, which is like unheard of. Honestly, I was like, Tyler, I think I'm gonna get like a cab if we always want to go to like Palm Breeze. I'm gonna get a cab for $15 because normally they charge like $23 for a glass of wine for that. But then a bottle is $80, which doesn't make any sense. So anyway, but the drinks were fine. Like we got Aperol spritzes. They were a decent price. They were like I think 16, 17 bucks, which was like accurate. But some of their specialty drinks, I was like, that's $22. Yikes.
How disappointing.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that's
don't
rough.
think this is like a hangout for locals. Like, you know what I mean? They're trying to probably steer away the locals and like
Yeah.
do it for the people that are like, well, we're here on DVC or we're here on
Mhm.
vacation. So let's just
Yeah.
forfeit the money and go to this pool bar and eat this, garbage salad for $38.
Yeah, it is the typical like Disney like, oh yeah, we're gonna price people out and just because I
Mhm.
think they want the people that are staying at the Discovery Tower to be able to enjoy it, and so how can they accommodate? How can they act like they're accommodating the public while also just kind of making this bar mostly for the Discovery Tower people? Just make it
Mhm.
super expensive.
Yeah. And then,
I don't.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like anytime Disney brings something new for the first time, whether it's an attraction, a restaurant, something always seems to go bad. There's some big mess up. When Avatar came out, that was broke down a lot. Rise of the Resistance, and then with your experience here, where even though they share a kitchen, you can't interact. The kitchens apparently can't interact, and you'd be like, oh, you know what? They want that food. We can totally do that. I don't know if it's just this place, but when I worked for the hotels out in Orlando at Lowe's, like the Lowe's hotels by Universal, if someone wanted something from a different kitchen at Royal Pacific, they could totally do that. They might say, hey, we might have to charge you more and it might take a little bit longer, but it was definitely easy to do. While this one's like, no, I'm sorry.
Hospitality, you mean?
We
Yeah,
don't
right?
associate with those people in the kitchen. And see, they're a tier below us. We don't look down. We don't engage with those people. So that is such a frustrating experience, especially when you're paying, good money and higher prices for an enjoyable and stressful experience. It's all about
Yeah.
the stress.
I
That's why
will
you go on
say the
vacation.
service recovery was horrible too. I just want to point that out. It was kind of laughable at a point where the manager came up to us like a couple times, gave us his card and was like, please let me know how we did. And it was like after the third try, I was just laughing because I just could not believe we've been waiting for 3 times for
Mhm.
like a pre-cooked salad or like a pre-cooked chicken with salad. And like his burger was like, mediocre or whatever. And then what he did was he comped Tyler's fries. Like he comped his like appetizer. And I was just like, this is
Wow,
ridiculous.
generous.
Like Tyler was like, okay, you're literally wasting my time. Like, this is like this kitchen is wasting our time with we wanted to sit in the pool, right? But then the problem is we can't sit at the pool because we have to sit here. But now we wasted over an hour and a half here when we could have been at the pool soaking up the sun, enjoying the pool. And then he had like no remorse. He's just like, oh, well, it's the kitchen's fault. They have 5 kitchens. I was like, that's not the problem. You built this new tower. You knew that you were going to have food here. So why
Mhm.
did you do it? Build a kitchen. You
Right.
can build it. They have kitchens everywhere, like, the catering kitchens and whatnot. You know how to do it. They just did it wrong. And then then the bartender he saw when we cashed out, he was livid. And he was like, that's it. And so he kind of like took a little bit of more money off, like for so that was very nice of him, but it was still kind of just like laughable that the bartender had to like step in and be like, that an appetizer, are you kidding? You couldn't even eat it.
I mean, I'm just gonna come out and straight up say that the biggest issue with this bar is the management and the honestly the kind of audacity and the balls they have to like just kind of push. It's like they're pushing a mediocre product at a premium price, and they know it. They know it. They know it, and they have to make excuses like, oh well, the kitchen's far away and there's 5 menus in one kitchen. And when you're telling me things to my face like this and you're the manager of the place, like
Mhm.
it's bad on you. It looks bad on you.
Let me explain the operations to you so you can feel bad for us. That's how that comes off. That is something that I don't care how new you are to Disney management. In my day, as part of Disney management, you were never, ever to approach subjects even relating to staffing issues, operational problems. That the guest has absolutely no visibility to that on purpose, because they are there for an experience to get away from all of the woes of life, all of the hassles and problems, to come out and say, oh, here's what's going on behind the scenes. You should essentially excuse this, is blasphemous. I mean, by Disney standards. I'm so sad to hear it.
Yeah.
And I gotta say too, you know, he kind of made me uncomfortable. He was very hands-on. He kept grabbing my arm, grabbing my shoulders, like,
oh,
you know,
wow,
like acting
that's too
like
much touch.
like acting like buddy, like acting like we were best friends. And like, you know, when the burger was wrong for the second time in a row, and he comes up behind me and grabs my shoulders and starts shaking me. Oh, I can't believe I'm so sorry, we're screwing this, you know, like, I'm not your buddy, dude. Like, we're not friends. Like,
so weird.
Physical touch is not one of the 5 keys of Disney.
Like, let go of my arm. You're making me uncomfortable.
It was very awkward.
It was a weird thing, but
yeah. And then he came up like afterwards when Tyler was just like, you know what? Pay the bill. I'm going to the pool. I'm like, yeah, please do. Cause I had to work anyway. So I was like, just go to the pool. I'll wait. And then he comes up and he's like, was he happy? Was he okay? And then I was like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't want to, like, no, he's not okay.
Yeah, no, I was not happy. I mean, you didn't make it better.
It was just bad. But all in all, like, the Palm Breeze, it's not okay. Like, I don't really like it. And then, but you know, the name is accurate. There is a huge breeze when
it's cold down
there. It's so cold. Like, there is some wind tunnel that happens. I don't know. Like, I don't know if they planned to build it this way or they were mistaken and then they just named it Palm Breeze as like a funny joke. But there is so much wind current that shoots through the bar area where I was getting so cold. And then even the bartenders were kind of just like, I don't know what's going to happen when the weather starts dropping, because we don't have heaters over here. The only heaters they have are facing the plants. That is it. There's like 5 heaters around and they're all facing downwards. If you look in this picture right now that you're showing, if you look kind of like to the left and to the right, like kind of pillars that are behind the bar, you can kind of see the situated heaters that are kind of fixed up there, but they're all facing towards the plants. And so I was like, so they're not going to put any heaters in? And they're like, no, I don't think so. And I was like, that's crazy.
They're going to bring I would bet money that there's going to be portable heaters.
But even at the bar, I don't know. It seems like a waste of money, like how they built it. Like they should have thought about it. And then they're kind of worried about the rain current too, because if there's having like a breeze and there's like maybe like rain or something, they're worried about the breeze bringing in the rain. And they're like, oh my God, I don't know if we have to like close half of the bar and then so only open the other half depending on where the breeze is coming through. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know if you guys thought this through.
My goodness, after all these years of building theme parks and properties, Aulani even, it's like this couldn't be constructed with an operational intelligence. I mean, I'm just always blown away by how they go to all these great lengths to spend a huge amount of money into something new and for it to come back operationally not sound at all. And what that does too, by the way, you know, you can create the most beautiful design, but if you don't operationalize that up front in the designs, then what you get, you know, is operations having to react, and then that starts to clutter the design, that starts to take away from the experience because operations has to pick up the slack on that back end, and so it slowly starts to detract from what they were attempting to build in the first place. So, that's too bad to hear. Well, you guys, I know that you also were able to stay in the tower, obviously. And Tyler, you posted a great video on social media about that. And we do have that here. I was wondering if you might be able to walk the folks through what it is that we're seeing.
Take me on a tour.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, here's the entryway, and I mean, here's the room. That's it. That's a tour.
Ding.
No, it's a very small room, guys, but I think it is very beautiful. The little touches are quite amazing, actually. When you kind of spend such when you're spending this much time in this small little room,
intimate time together,
and I kept finding little details that I liked, so I really enjoyed that. But as you can see, there's it looks like there's no bed in here, but the bed is
that
Murphy
a Katrina
bed.
cameo?
It is a Katrina cameo, and and you can see the bathroom too is as big as the living space. So I mean, it really is a very small room, but this shower is awesome. It has a little bench in there. It has the color through of the Jungle Book, so all those are the primary colors of the Jungle Book. The art was fantastic. That was kind of one of the cool things that I was going to say is it's such a small room, but even for such a small room, you keep finding little details in every little corner. And I mean, I just think the art even there is incredible on that fold down Murphy bed, and you get a little bit more inside, a little close up of Baloo.
Look at that.
And Mowgli.
I'm all about Papa Bear right there.
Yeah. So I don't know. You could see that we were like, oh, you have to move these little coffee table things. They're kind of in the way. So we even had a balcony, which I wasn't expecting, which kind of led to nowhere, but it was still cool to have a balcony just in case you were feeling a little claustrophobic, need a little fresh air.
Yeah, I sat out there and then I got eaten alive by mosquitoes, but it was nice. Those chairs were very massive, to be honest, and they're actually pretty comfy.
And yeah, I even this little design on the curtain, I didn't see anything. Sorry, I'm getting a little stuffy. I didn't see anything originally, but as I looked closer at it, I was like, oh wait, there's actually Baloo's silhouette and Mowgli and the little elephant, the little baby elephant from the little pack of elephants. And so it so many cool details, very small room. So if you need space, I would not recommend this room. We didn't even know where to put. There was no luggage rack, and we called up. I had to call twice because I called up once and I said, "Can we get a luggage rack?" And they said, "No, not in that room."
Oh, jeez.
So many no's.
I know that's the problem with this hotel so far. Is everybody just kept telling me no. And
that's hospitality right there.
Yeah, I know. But then
that's courtesy.
Right, I know. But so then I kind of sat there for a second and I thought about it, and I was like, no, I want a luggage rack. So I called back and I was like, listen, the last guy said I couldn't get a luggage rack, but we want a luggage rack. So can we please have one? And they were like, oh, of course you can have a luggage rack. So I don't know what was up with the first guy, but we got the luggage rack.
What is going on?
I don't know. I think the hotel itself, or the tower itself, I should say, has a very luxurious feel. But that studio room that we had is very small. So, it's up to you if space is important or not.
It still looks bigger than it still looks bigger than the tower suites that they have at the Riviera Resort. Those rooms are just literally it's like a prison cell where you have the Murphy bed and that's about it.
Oh my God.
No, Ariel and I went on a tour of it. Just we had some time to kill, and they're like, "Oh, this is our most popular room," and I'm like, "For what? 5 to 10 years? Serving time or something?" And he didn't seem amused at that.
They're very small. They're very small. It's not even a joke. Yeah.
That bed is like a full size bed. It's not even I would barely say it's a queen. And so we cuddled, and I will say I did smack my arm on it a couple times because I wasn't used to the arm being there by my head. So when I turned over, I whacked my arm a couple times, and then I went up to go pee, and then I did hit my leg because I kind of forgot that little arm thing for the side of the couch is there.
The couch
so
arm
I swung out my legs, and then I bam, and then I hit the side of my thigh, and I'm like, son of a, and then I had to go pee. But then honestly, they built it really nicely. You can't hear your neighbors at all. Maybe a flush in the toilet or something. So it's not like the Disneyland hotels where you can literally sit in on a full on conversation with other people on the other side of the wall.
Paper walls.
Yeah. So at least that's nice. The water pressure is great. It's very hot. It's just really, really small. If you're gonna go there and you want to spend 5 days there and you're gonna have 2 checked suitcases and 2 carry-ons and stuff, you got to unpack. Like it's going to be like a cruise ship. You unpack your stuff and stow it, you'll never figure out how to like just leave your suitcase open.
My goodness. Well, we had several folks chiming in throughout your descriptions of not just the bar, but also the tower. Joanne saying that's very poor for a Disney hotel. Maybe with time, it'll get better. D saying $20 for a drink in a plastic cup. No, thank you. Fred saying, between the poor customer service and the prices on that menu, Disney should be embarrassed, but they won't be. Yeah. Probably. Lucy saying, hi Wade and gang, the entire Disney management needs to be sacked. An overhaul is desperately needed right now. Bring the magic back.
Wade, you've got your name tag still, right?
I do.
All right.
Framed.
Listen, you bring me on as your assistant manager, and you and I we'll get that place into shape real fast.
We'll whip it into shape with Tyler as CEO. Fred saying maybe the manager needs some lessons in customer service from the American Hotel Lodging Association's Outstanding Lodging Employee of the Year in 2010. And Walt Disney author. Well, I don't know who he's referring to, but maybe you're right, for sure.
I don't know what he's referencing. Could it be that there's an author and an award winner in our midst?
No, I have no idea. And the crowd goes wild. We don't need that. Please, studio audience, take a seat.
That's all the life.
Well, thank you both for sharing your perspective on the matter, especially with the new Palm Breeze Bar and the Discovery Tower. I know that, SF Gate kind of ran almost an advertisement in their story for this, like just promoting it rather than really being sort of critical of anything, just sort of celebrating everything that's now open in that space. You get the real
question.
Right, yeah, exactly. You get the real down and dirty here, don't you? You get all the intel, that's for sure. Well, folks, we have plenty of stories to share with you from the Disneyland Resort this week. I know that you're all waiting to hear about especially Fantasmic coming back to us because we are now just months away from the return of that really awesome nighttime show. That, in addition to so many other Disneyland stories, let's jump on into some Disneyland News Review. Disneyland News Time. The Orange County Register reporting a glitch just as powerful but nowhere near as cute as Vanellope Von Schweetz from Wreck-It Ralph brought the Disneyland website and mobile app to a screeching halt. But fortunately, the system crash has been resolved at the Anaheim theme park. Disneyland visitors and annual pass holders who ran into a 404 error code on Tuesday due to a system outage can once again purchase tickets and make reservations. During a planned infrastructure upgrade today, the Disneyland Resort said an outage impacted guests' ability to purchase tickets, renew Magic Keys, and make, modify, and cancel theme park reservations. These temporary impacts, they say, have been resolved, close quote. An error page with the 7 dwarfs carrying pickaxes over "We're working on it" encouraged visitors to try again later. And the Disney Parks reservation system experienced a nationwide outage, according to Inside the Magic. In other news, Theme Park Insider reporting Disneyland is moving to restrict professional pin traders working inside its theme parks. For years, pin traders have set up large pin boards on benches in Frontierland with occasional forays into Disney California Adventure as well. Now, Disney is saying that park guests no longer will be able to do that. In a change posted to Disneyland's FAQ pages, the resort is now banning large pin boards inside the parks. Guests who want to trade with other guests may display their pins only on a lanyard or a single trading bag. No larger than 14 inches by 12 inches by 6 inches. No lights, signage, or other displays will be allowed. And the use of benches for displaying pins now is explicitly prohibited by Disneyland. Guests using a trading bag will be restricted to trading with other guests at designated times from park opening until 3 p.m. at a designated location next to Westward Ho Trading Company in Frontierland. The specific location and trading hours will be subject to change as well, Disneyland said in a statement. And Disneyland also said that only trading official metal Disney pins is allowed in the park. In addition, quote, monies, gifts, vouchers, or receipts may not be exchanged or used to trade for a pin, close quote. And KTLA reports performances of Disneyland's popular nighttime show Fantasmic are expected to return on May 24th, 2024. Disneyland says we look forward to providing more information about Fantasmic in the coming months. And when the show returns next year, it will not include the dragon figure. but it will include new special effects and a new battle scene between Sorcerer Mickey and Maleficent, according to Disneyland officials. Nightly show performances were abruptly halted after a fire destroyed the dragon prop during a performance on April 22nd. The fire, which caused the nighttime show to go on hiatus, broke out during the show's finale, sparking first from the Maleficent dragon prop's face before spreading to the rest of its body. Videos and photos from the scene showed cast members evacuating the packed crowd from the waterfront viewing area and nearby attractions as firefighters worked to extinguish the flames. And Disneyland News reports decor brightens the season throughout Disneyland Resort, featuring grand Christmas trees decorated with uniquely themed ornaments in both theme parks, the Downtown Disney District and the Grand Californian Hotel and Spa, as well as the Disneyland Hotel. Icicles and snow-capped turrets adorn Sleeping Beauty's winter castle, and with a bit of Disney magic, snow is scheduled to fall every night in select areas of Disneyland Park. Snow is also scheduled to fall in the Downtown Disney District nightly every half hour from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. between Jazz Kitchen Coastal Grill and Patio and Black Tap Craft Burgers and Shakes starting November 24th through December 31st. There you have it, a complete rundown of stories from the Disneyland side of things this week. Garrett, any story in particular stand out to you as one that might be worth touching on here?
Oh yeah, so I would have said the technical issues with the site and app going down, but seeing as how I've experienced that numerous times, that's nothing new to me. Fantasmic is for sure the bright shining star of that story, and I am absolutely all for it because Disneyland's Fantasmic is better than Walt Disney World's Fantasmic. It is just an amazing show, and even with the all the issues that have happened, like them bringing it back in 2024, they could have closed it indefinitely. They could have said like, no, we got to try something new. But I think they know just how much the guests love this show and how it's not as a want so much as a need to bring this back online. So I am so excited, and I look forward to seeing whatever the new show elements will be. With the dragon, with Sorcerer Mickey, because it's an iconic part of the show. It's larger than life, and I'm just pumped. I'm really excited. Sadly, I won't. Actually, I will. I'll be going to Disneyland in the fall of 2024. So hopefully, if everything goes right, I'll be able to experience it myself with all these new show elements. So I'm looking very much so to what comes about this and any new news we get. But this was definitely a good part of the news this week in the realm of the Disney parks.
Couldn't agree more, and sad to hear, though. I think, Tyler, when it comes to losing this dragon upon its return, I kind of thought the whole reason why we were waiting for a year was to wait for the dragon to be back in the show. Otherwise, I wonder what we're waiting for exactly.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I feel like that does seem like what we would be waiting for, but the only thing I can think of is that, look at this video right here. The only thing I can think of is that they really had quite a bit of damage down there that we're not even aware of. And then to top it off, they need to make sure that nothing like this ever happens again. And so I'm sure they kind of were just like, we need to give like literally everything a once over and, just make sure that things are just as safe as possible, because this is a mistake right here that we can say probably costed them millions of dollars. To be fair, when you really consider that more people come to see nighttime spectaculars like Fantasmic, and they weren't able to do this for such a long time. And I still feel bad for the performers. All the people that thought they were going to have a job for a while had to take a step back too. So, I'm waiting for this dragon to come back, but obviously things went super sideways, and we don't have the full picture, I'm sure. But what's kind of crazy too? Are these nighttime spectaculars cursed? Because not that long ago, World of Color got just completely flooded and destroyed.
Right.
And they had to rebuild that whole show from the ground up almost. And here we are again with their other marquee spectacular, falling apart on the
I think
job.
it's just
over here.
dragons, and I think it's just dragons in general, because the similar experience happened with Maleficent again in Festival of Fantasy a few years back.
Oh, in the parade. That's right.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
parades.
that's true. That did happen.
So I think it's more than any show involving a dragon versus any kind of element. It's just you have a prerequisite to, like, there's going to be a fire. We don't know when, but it's going to happen. Just prepare if you have a dragon. It comes with the territory.
Well, that says some bad things for Disneyland Paris, so let's hope that's not the case.
I mean, it's that or it's another curse.
Hello. Hi, nice to meet you. Hi. How are you? Good, thank you. How are you? Bye, thank you.
Could be.
Man of the people.
Yeah.
Could be.
Like when I look at him, he is like the visual for this. I hear that when I look at him. Is that a weird thing?
It seems appropriate. Anywhere he goes, that's just kind of the sound effect that follows him. Blessings be upon you, Chapek, into this glorious holiday season. And Katrina, did you see what I saw? Snow coming to downtown Disney.
Snow. I know. I was like, come on, guys. Like, you know what I'm joking, right?
I do not know
Anyway.
what you're talking
really?
about.
No?
No one knows.
Is it from a Bluey episode?
No.
No.
See, that's why I don't know. If it's from Bluey, I know it.
What the heck? How dare you? All of you need
Okay.
to go and study up, okay? Such a great movie. Anyway, super excited. Everybody loves Snope, It's just a given. Even
I
though
do
it
love
looks
Snope.
silly, it's so magical at night. In the daytime, it looks stupid. But at night, it's so magical, so pretty. Honestly, I loved it when they did it over in DCA, over at the, what is it? Oh my gosh, my mind went
Over in the
by
Grizzly
Beach.
River Trail.
Yeah. So they did it, I don't know, like what, 1 year, I guess, but it was just so magical.
I think it was just 1 year, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
that's
they
right.
took it away.
What
But it
happened to
was
that?
so beautiful.
It was
I
so
loved
cool,
it.
yeah, because you could just be walking through the forest and all of a sudden it would just randomly
Snow.
start snowing and the lights would change and the music would swell. It was a beautiful thing, but I don't know, they only did it for 1 year, so
It was beautiful. So I really wish they brought that back. But it's really cool to have it at Downtown Disney. I'm curious, like, where exactly and how often, they're going to do it. Because I can't imagine they're going to, like, fill it up. They're probably going to put it, like, in between the trees, right? And then it'll just snow kind of, like, around there.
I'm thinking around the stage, maybe. The new
Oh,
stage.
it's not even going to be throughout the Downtown Disney area? It's not even that big.
Well, I don't know.
No. They said in the story it's going to be directly between. So this whole area between Tortilla Joe's, Black Tap, and the
where the trees are in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Like that,
they would just
that
fix
like
it
center
in the
section
middle.
where everything comes together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
Yeah. Because like I'm trying to figure out where exactly. Like, is it just going to be in the trees, and whoever's going to be sitting on one of those like little areas is going to get like snoped?
I'm guessing that it'll be off of
sniped.
every rooftop, every angled rooftop in the area,
Yeah,
and
I guess
then
I can
also
see
in the
that.
trees.
Yeah, that sounds fun though. I mean, maybe it'll bring people to go eat at what is it called, the bowling alley, because no one likes to eat there because that food's garbage too.
Oh my. Katrina.
Today's
today,
talks
I don't
about
know.
food are just so
The food
uplifting for
critics.
anyone that's hungry for food. We've got you covered.
Splitsville,
That's
that's,
right.
the name. My bad.
Splitsville, yes.
Hey, listen, for the
Um,
price, I would recommend Splitsville over Palm Breeze. If you,
Don't order
Whoa.
gluten-free stuff. Their upcharge is crazy.
Now we know.
Anyway,
I think-
snowfall, fun,
So
exciting.
fun. Yes. No,
All the
I
little
think that
kids are gonna
area.
be dancing around and playing, and then you can sit and have a margarita at Tortilla Joe's outside and see all the snow.
That area in particular, having having it available for people that can't afford theme park tickets, I think, is
Yeah.
such an important piece because that is kind of a cornerstone of the in-park experience with Disneyland at Christmas now. And so to be able to have that as an option for people to just come and enjoy for free, I think that's such a wonderful layer of magic that
It's
they
very
can
nice.
add to the mix. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Isn't that what they want people to do? To be honest, there's really nothing to do in downtown Disney at the moment because everything's boarded up. And so they probably need people just to come and visit. Because, like, it gets busy during the holidays. People want to get out, go do something. They don't really want to go to the park. They want to go watch the fireworks. So, I mean, it's something nice to do to at least, like, they're going to bring in revenue for people that park at downtown Disney. So that's nice.
Absolutely. Garrett, where else would you want to see Snope and a snowfall come throughout the Disneyland Resort?
I would love to see it by the Matterhorn, seeing as how it's already covered in snow.
Oh,
I think
that's
some
cool.
some
That's
snow
cool
around
idea.
there would be pretty cool because it already fits with the theming of that area.
That would be
If not
cool.
there, then in by Grizzly River Run, since that'd be a mountain in
Oh, yeah.
Northern California,
That'd
and
be
there'd be
cool,
some
too.
there'd be snow on those hills. Like it can't just be on Main Street. It would be magical, especially with the castle being all decorated. But if I would have to fit it into a themed land, then I want to do it where there's already some kind of snow, or if it's in like the Redwood Challenge area, that would be kind of cool, especially if they do
Yeah.
any kind of
That's where it was.
holiday party over there.
Yeah, that's where it was the
Mhm.
one year that's what
See?
we were talking about, and it was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah,
I wish they
but
brought it
yeah,
back.
anywhere, any mountain that's new, except Space Mountain, because there's no snow in space. That doesn't make
There's
sense.
no Christmas in the future, I've noticed, in Tomorrowland ever. The future, Christmas is dead.
That's a horrible thing.
Yeah.
It
I
is.
tell-
Yeah.
the glass has been shattered for me. I need to go talk to my therapist real fast.
Oh, no.
There's Christmas in Tomorrowland at Magic Kingdom, but I've noticed there is no Christmas
No.
at
Yeah.
Tomorrowland at Disneyland.
It's because the ovens always malfunction. That's why.
That's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's 5 kitchens, guys. We can't have Christmas in
yeah.
Tomorrowland.
Yeah. And, yeah. Exactly.
Kitchen serving multiple dining rooms. We can't have Christmas in Tomorrowland.
No.
Well, Amanda is saying that that's really nice that they are adding the snow to downtown Disney. Our kids will love that. I think that's the whole idea, is having it as an option for folks. And, you don't have to worry about buying a theme park ticket for each of them during the busiest time of the year. You can get in and get out in downtown Disney and still have that magical memory. Very sweet to see. Lori Jean saying, so long, Bob Chapek. Yeah, so long. Here, here. And what about these the pin traders? What about this crackdown going on here? Did this surprise you by any chance, Tyler?
I actually really did surprise me, to be honest. I didn't even realize that these people were really on the radar of Disney. Like,
I didn't either.
I just kind of thought that they figured, like, hey, they're making us money. Like, I kind of, I thought it was like kind of part of the thing. Like, hey, the pin traders, they have to buy the pins from us, so we're making money while they're doing it, and so we're gonna offer this service, I guess. And even like when you look at this photo here, I almost thought that Disney set up these benches on purpose for them.
It makes sense.
Like when you look at the way that these benches are set up, this isn't like, they weren't like, oh, this is the perfect place for people to relax. They were like, we need these benches because people are over here doing pins. So yeah, I was very surprised that they decided it was time to crack down on the pin traders. But I think it makes a lot of sense. I think if they're starting to cause a ruckus and the cast members are having to deal with them more and more often, because when you see things like this, especially from a giant corporate company like Disney, when you see a rule change like this went through many, many, many people. And what that tells me is that there was a problem with, that a lot of cast members were voicing. So, they know their park, they know what it needs. And I think that if they felt like people were being annoyed by the pin traders, this is what needs to be done. And I'm not going to dispute them on it. There comes a time where you can't let's be real, you can't set up a shop in the middle of Disneyland. There, it's a private property. You're not you're not you're not entitled to be able to do that. So the fact that they're cracking down on this, I guess it makes sense over all this time. It just kind of came out of left field for me.
I don't know if either of you remember Tyler and Katrina, but about 12 years ago, back when Jolly Holiday, I don't even think Jolly Holiday had opened yet. I think it was one of those scenarios. So it may have even been a few years before that. But back when that corner was not being used, right when that restaurant was dormant, and that whole area outside of Jolly Holiday, all the seating area, was basically just up for grabs. That area became on a daily basis like Pin Central. And I recall this very vividly where it was like every professional pin trader in the world showed up, and it was a frenzy every day out on that patio. And they had books and they had displays, and it was a daily occurrence until that got cracked down on. And then they condensed it and moved them and said the area where, we're going to do daily pin trading going to be on a couple of countertops over by Westward Ho Pin Trading here in Frontierland. And then this started to pop up right across from it. This, what we're seeing in the image here, where the professional pin traders started to bring more and more displays. And, this is probably the least of it in this image that we're seeing. There's a lot more to it than this. But I remember that happening about, 13 years ago, something like that. They condensed it then. The resort cracked down a little bit on it. Then they let it go for all these years, and now all of a sudden it's a concern again. I just find that fascinating that, well, now it's a problem once more.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but I do remember when they sold those little like the Vinylmation figures over by in downtown Disney, and how everybody took up those areas, and it was just a nightmare just to get through downtown Disney because everybody set up their little shops to set up their Vinylmations and whatnot, and like that was a problem.
Yeah,
Vinylmation mania.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just think that it just kind of points to like a larger issue, right? Which is more like, I think they're really trying to crack down on people who are doing this, like people who are like going to the parks just to like resell things, like eBay people, the resellers, I think
don't like those people very much.
Yeah. And I think that's a big part of it for them too, which I appreciate. I think they're just like, well, we don't want to like encourage the resellers to do their business here, So,
Yeah.
Right.
That and the bottleneck though, because now the parks are getting busier and busier, especially during the holidays. And then at night, remember, like even on Wednesday when we went to go like eat dinner, it was a nightmare. Like they took up a lot of room in that corner. You would think that it wouldn't be that like problematic, but they took up so much room. But then that's when it starts getting busy. So then they start doing one-way traffics, right? So only like you can go inward and through Frontierland, and then you can cut left or go straight.
I think at that
and
point
then
they're not
that's a
letting those
problem.
people there. I mean,
You
I don't
never
think-
know.
I don't think they're there at that point, but because at that point they turn into like a walking only, so keep moving,
In my experience, like it seems like pin trading isn't as big as Disney World, or maybe it's because you've got 4 parks to spread it out over. But I can only think of one designated location. That was when the Fountain of Nations was still around at Epcot. You had the pin trading area, and then they had tables actually set up for people to bring their their giant boards and stand there. But other than that, I can't think of any area in Magic Kingdom or in Walt Disney World
can't
where
even think of anything
where
at
people are
Magic
taking up
Kingdom.
benches for pin trading services. Usually it's just between people and like, oh, can I trade with like a cast member? I think maybe it's either dwindled down or maybe it's just gotten a lot bigger at Disneyland versus Disney World.
But I think it is bigger at Disneyland, but also we have to remember that they have like so much more space in Disney World. Like, like taking up a corner in Disney World is like not even the same thing as it is at Disneyland. So
yeah,
it's like kind of on another level. I don't know. I'm surprised they don't just tell people like, they have that whole picnic area right outside in the Esplanade. I'm surprised they don't just tell people like, do whatever you want in the picnic area,
Right.
like go to
Yeah,
the
no
picnic
one
Go to
sits
town.
there.
like, and that's really what I feel like they should be doing. But anyway,
Yeah, I've always thought
Yeah.
myself that Walt Disney World, it seems more cast members are wearing lanyards than I see at Disneyland, like by far. No matter where I go, I feel like all the cast members in Disney World really enjoy the pin trading aspect. Whereas Disneyland, it seems like unless you're in a store as a cast member, you don't really see too many people wearing lanyards out and about anymore. It just seems to have faded away for some reason. Bizarre.
yeah. I mean, when I was in custodial, there was like all these different rules for the lanyard you could wear with the pins on it, and I sometimes wonder if cast members are just like, I don't want to deal with all the little rules that Disney makes us think about, so they just don't wear a lanyard,
Yeah,
because I mean, there were times like I was working in custodial, and I remember there was a lead that pulled me aside one day. I found a pin that was Mickey with a broom. Mickey was sweeping with a little broom, and I thought, oh, that's cute, and it fits custodial perfectly. Let me put this on my lapel. The lead pulled me aside one day and was like, "You're not allowed to wear that. You realize that, right? Like, And I'm like, okay, cool. All right, well, then I'll take this off. And it's just like they have so many little rules that at a certain point when you're a cast member, it's like, okay, I don't want to get yelled at, so I'm just not even going to push it.
Yeah, when it becomes more of a hassle, more of a problem. And I remember that being an issue that I had too, it was very hard to decipher what was a legitimate pin over another. And more often than not, we had to have like pin experts in each area that we worked in to be like, oh, this is counterfeit, this is counterfeit, this is okay, this is authorized. I'm like, this has become more of a hassle, like I don't know the meaning behind half of these, it's a way to engage and interact.
A Garrett hassle.
Big old Garrett hassle.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I've heard hassle like 5 times, and I'm like, I better get my those name drop money. I want my NIL money.
Get that shout out.
Yeah,
atta boy. Well, yes.
I'm an
I know
EL,
how much
not
you
an
love.
LE.
I know how much you love those shout outs. That's what you're all about here. Well,
Thank you.
in general, I know that in addition to the Disneyland news of the week, there has been a lot of Walt Disney Company news, especially by way of earnings and what's been going on with revenue, profits. Believe it or not, Disney World is down when it comes to revenue, and yet the Parks and Experiences division is up. Where specifically are those ups at? Well, obviously, it's not Disney World. It's in a lot of other pockets, including the Disney Cruise Line. We're going to talk about that as well as the new Disney CFO being brought on board after Christine McCarthy took her leave of absence and then vanished forever. And so now we've got a new Disney CFO on the way. All that and more coming up in our Disney news review. Outside of Disneyland specific, there's a lot of other Disney news to get to. You stick around, plenty more Disney News Talk Live for you straight ahead. Walt Disney, he is seen as sort of this mythical creature nowadays, this magical man that could do no wrong. And yet, he spent most of his life steeped in failure. From heartache to betrayal to death and even a breakdown of his own. It's often said that artists are tortured souls, and I think it's safe to say that Walt Disney was a tortured soul by his own standards most of his life. Walt Disney had to do some of the hardest things any person can do, and that is convince others of unimaginable dreams he had solely in his head. And oftentimes he had to stand alone in his own visions to make them happen. He was surrounded by family, he was surrounded by fawning fans in the public wherever he went, and yet so often he had to stand alone in his decisions and his choices. Only he understood what it was he was trying to do. He's more like you and me than I think a lot of us assume. Stand Alone, The Walt Disney Way. 10 Lessons for Harnessing Your Own Magic. By me, Wade Heath. A new book coming soon. Be inspired by Walt Disney all over again. Disney News Time, WFTV reporting that Disney shared good news and bad news this week with its fourth quarter earnings report. Profits from Disney theme parks and the cruise division increased 30% over last year, and that was the good news. However, the bad news included the parks in Central Florida. The company said revenue for Walt Disney World was weaker than expected. Disney announced it would slash expenses by another $2 billion, but said there are no plans for any more layoffs. Blogmaker reporting Walt Disney Parks Chairman Josh D'Amaro has presented quite a few ideas for the theme parks over the next 10 years. Interim CFO Kevin Lansbury just announced that those investments will be more heavily loaded in the back half of that time frame, saying, quote, "We anticipate robust operating income growth at experiences to reflect strong performance at our international parks and Disney Cruise Line. While domestic parks and experiences is expecting solid growth for the full year, that growth will be heavily back-end loaded due to continued challenging comparisons in the first half of the year from the 50th anniversary at Walt Disney World and inflation. We continue to be bullish, as evidenced by a recent announcement on significant investments we plan to make over the next 10 years to turbocharge growth in this area. We expect those investments to ramp up towards the back half of the 10-year period, with more gradual increases in the first few years." Close quote. Blogmaker also reports Disney CEO Bob Iger says that one of 4 key building opportunities for the Walt Disney Company is turbocharging growth in their parks and experiences business, saying, quote, "As we look forward, there are 4 key building opportunities that will be central to our success. Achieving significant and sustained profitability in our streaming business, building ESPN into the preeminent digital sports platform, improving the output of economics of our film studios, and turbocharging growth in our parks and experiences business. We have already made considerable advancements in these 4 areas and will continue to move forward with a sense of purpose and urgency. And I am bullish about the opportunities we have before us to create lasting growth and increase shareholder value. As we announced in September, we plan to turbocharge growth in our experiences business through strategic investments over the next decade. Given our wealth of IP, innovative technology, buildable land, unmatched creativity, and strong returns on invested capital, we are confident about the potential from our new investments." Close quote. In other news, Reuters reports that the Walt Disney Company hired Pepsi Company veteran Hugh Johnston as its chief financial officer, strengthening top boss Bob Iger's hands as he tries to turn around the media giant, facing a decline in its cable business and investor pressure. The conglomerate is in the middle of a restructuring that aims to make its streaming business profitable and chart a path for its traditional TV unit, including possible asset sales and a tie-up for its sprawling sports network ESPN. With Johnston, age 62, it gets an executive with solid top-level experience and who has been credited with boosting Pepsi Company's revenue to about $86 billion last year from $58 billion in 2010. And finally, WDW News Today reports following the White Rabbit through the rabbit hole apparently leads to Disney's contemporary resort, as Walt Disney World has announced an upcoming Alice in Wonderland-inspired New Year's Eve celebration at California Grill. The Alice's Whimsical World of Wonderland event will allow guests to ring in 2024 in a Wonderland-like setting, and it will cost $799, including gratuity and tax. The restaurant, located on the 15th floor of Disney's Contemporary Resort, will transform into Wonderland for the one-night event. Characters from the iconic 1951 Walt Disney-produced film will appear, with Walt Disney World mentioning Alice, the Mad Hatter, and the March Hare by name. The Doorknob and Dina, the Hat Lady, will also be present, with Disney also warning guests to beware of the Queen of Hearts. Guests will be required to pay the entire $799 charge at the time of booking in order to experience the immersive party. Those attending the event will be able to indulge in exclusive custom cocktails and food items inspired by Lewis Carroll's imaginative stories. Food stations include the chilled appetizer station, wood-burning station, sushi station, hot seafood station, a grill and rotisserie station, and a sweet treats station. Guests are encouraged to wear fine clothing and participate in a champagne toast when the clock strikes midnight. This event will run from 7:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m., and additional offerings at the event include a fanciful ice sculpture and musical playlist curated by the White Rabbit, who serves as the event's DJ. There you have it. Walt Disney World Wrap-Up, as well as the Walt Disney Company News Wrap-Up there. Lots of fascinating stories to touch on. I know, Garrett, you are a huge Alice in Wonderland fan. Are you going to the tippy top of California Grill above the Contemporary for New Year's Eve?
No, I will not be at the tippy top because there's only one tip top club, and that's at the Hollywood Tower Hotel. No, I love I like this new offering because Alice in Wonderland I think gets slept on a lot. Whether you go with the newer edition through the one Johnny Depp was a part of, or you go with the OG one, Alice in Wonderland definitely has a niche group that it serves and people love it. But no, for New Year's I will be in the Caribbean on the Disney Fantasy to make sure that the Caribbean is safe from pirates like myself.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. So
wait. Hold on. Let's unpack this. Let's unpack this for a second.
I didn't think there was much to unpack in my comment, but by all means, go right ahead.
Hold on. Making the Caribbean safe from pirates like yourself.
Yes.
I'm just curious.
I'm just
curious what that means exactly. How are you betraying your own?
As a no, because you have good pirates and you have bad pirates. I'm a good pirate, obviously, and then you have bad pirates like those other pirates, and we don't like those other pirates. We like pirates like me.
So you're like a Jack Sparrow versus a Blackbeard.
Well, yes.
All right, let's move on. I'm sorry, I just needed to think about it for a second.
I am making sure the extra bad pirates don't mess up things for good pirates like me. I shoot off fireworks. They shoot off cannonballs and gunpowder. Two completely different scenarios.
Okay.
Now we know.
I'm glad I could clarify everything that I now just confused myself over.
Make it further confusing, yes. Well, it's an $800 experience there at the top of the Contemporary on New Year's Eve. I don't know if
that part. Been on a cruise for that much.
He missed that part.
Are you listening to the stories, Garrett?
No, I was, but I think the price tag just went over my head a little bit. Like,
$799 is completely different than $800.
Right. Yes.
Actually, that's part of a marketing gimmick, but I digress. My gosh, $800. That's so much. It'd be cheaper to go on a fireworks cruise at Epcot.
They're going to celebrate in style, that's for sure. I'm sure it'll sell out too. I mean, something like that at the Contemporary overlooking Magic Kingdom on New Year's Eve. $800 or not, I'm sure it's going to sell out rather quick.
Like, are the booze included? Because I read it and I didn't see that, but I saw that they had the food and stuff, which doesn't really seem that great. If they included booze, maybe okay. If you're gonna booze it up and stay overnight,
That better be all inclusive for $800. Are you kidding?
Yeah, it really. I mean, that's crazy.
They're like, sorry, we only have the Cook's sparkling, Cook's finest sparkling for you. That's free.
Cheers.
But they
everyone
have,
enjoy
food stations. It seems kind of fun. But then I read the food stations and I was like, honestly, these food stations are kind of worse than the brunch they used to have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't really seem
I would hope that they would get more creative for New Year's Eve.
It seems kind of basic.
Yeah, let's throw some characters in here and charge a bunch.
Yeah,
Everybody will come.
Oh my God, limited, rare characters. And I was like, how long is that line going to be?
Right.
And how often are they going to come out? Because if there's going to be 3, then they better be rotating all the time.
And I guess I'm also curious, are you just able to just keep grabbing is this a 4-hour thing where you just eat as much food as you're just chilling out and you're just eating as much food as you want?
That's how it sounds.
That sounds like
yeah.
Now can you leave and come back? Could it be I'm gonna go hop in the park for a second, I'll come back in a little bit and booze it up
on New Year's Eve? Yeah.
Oh, that
I don't know if you would be able to do that in time.
Gonna go hop in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pop on over.
You spent $800. You can't go down the elevator. If you go down the elevator, you're not coming back up. This isn't how it works. You're stuck with us up here.
I can't imagine they would do that.
I would think being protected from the elements in
Mhm.
a climate-controlled environment with an epic view of Magic Kingdom skies on New Year's Eve, with all the food you
With
could want and a bunch of characters in your
360
back
degree
pocket.
fireworks.
Yeah, that's got to be a much bigger upgrade than standing wall to wall with people for hours in the elements in front of the castle waiting for fireworks at midnight in
Mhm.
line for the bathroom.
Yeah.
3 hours, that
At
sort of
that
thing.
point, though, like for the like if you're saying like, okay, 4 people are gonna go, might as well just go buy a cruise at that, like
Right.
not at like a cruise, like a Disney cruise, like one of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
firework
yeah.
cruises that just go along the lake, and then you're able to sit there. You bring your own booze. They drive you around, and then they just park right there, and you see the fireworks in peace.
In peace.
And you can bring your own food if you want. You can bring chicken nuggies. You can bring a burger. Grab your food, bring it on the
Set
boat,
up
and
your
then
own
just
food
eat it.
stations.
Shoot, at
Right.
that point, if they had the grand one, you'd probably be able to do it with a group of people for the price you'd pay.
Bring it on. Everybody
Mhm.
together, but
Yeah.
at a distance.
Order the
Not having to
Steakhouse
be in those
71
crowds.
burgers to go, and then just eat them on the boat.
Delicious. Well, lots
Sounds like
of
fun.
opportunity there. It sounds like on New Year's Eve to enjoy yourself some distant magic from the Magic Kingdom and have your own version of that magic in-house at the California Grill. Something else worth touching on from these stories, I would think, would be, of course, that Disney Parks investments, well, they're ramping up, but, closer to 2030.
Mhm.
Anybody else having a bit of fear that this isn't going to happen like they say it's going
It's
to
just
happen?
funny.
Yeah.
2030. That's as long as
You
they
know,
took
it's-
Tron to make, Shoot.
I think Tron took a short amount of time to make, honestly.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what they're. I don't understand what they're thinking. To be real with you, because I think they really need to start watching, especially in Florida. I mean, they need to start watching Universal, because Universal's about to
Yeah.
open another big giant theme park,
Yeah.
which looks pretty incredible so far.
The Donkey Kong
Epic, if
coaster
you will.
alone looks amazing.
I mean, Donkey Kong coaster. I mean, I've seen like the portal to the Universal Monsters
Yeah.
area. I mean, this is going to be a heavy hitter. This is not going to be. People are going to go here, and Disney is going to lose a more percentage if
Yeah.
they're not careful. And I don't think they're being careful. I think they, we had this recent, meeting that happened with the investors and things like that, and Disney was pretty much just like, yeah, we went a little too hard on the wrong things, and
Right.
we and and it's like, yeah, you
Yeah, you
really
did.
did. You really
Mhm.
did. You really, really did. And, like, they focused way too much on streaming, in my opinion, and in the wrong ways. And so
Yeah.
now they're finally realizing, like, oh shoot, we need to really take a step back and figure out like what is bringing money in. And that is, honestly, in my opinion, their theme parks, because those
Yeah.
theme parks are not just a great place for families to have an amazing vacation, but they're also just, I mean, they advertise through these theme parks. That's
Yeah.
what they're basically made for. They're advertising their properties. So they go hand in
Mhm.
hand. And I think they finally realized, like, we need to start spending money again on these theme parks, because we are going to lose a foothold.
Yeah.
They're
Mhm.
doing fine in their other areas. I feel like, and, they're going to have to improve on streaming, but I don't think they're struggling in their other areas. I think if they don't start focusing on the theme parks soon here, they're going to start realizing we're losing a foothold. They get too cocky sometimes, and
Yeah.
that's what's been happening. And
It's a little bit of
they need to take a
hubris.
step back. Yeah, the hubris really, really, they realize it when it's too late, and it's pretty sad. I just think sometimes I need to take a step back and really understand what is happening, because I think that's been their issue with the Chapek era here.
Yeah.
They're not really accepting the full picture, and now they're facing consequences for it, and they're finally telling us, oh wait, we need to look at the full picture. Yeah, you guys really do. It's about time
Yeah.
they say that, because that's
Yeah.
really where we're at.
Yeah, Tyler. Like you said, they should, if they're not careful, they could lose hold of the Orlando market. Like, I think in terms of Southern California, Disneyland is like, everyone's landlocked, so you can't really do much. And as long as, if Disneyland Forward comes out, then we'll see what happens. But at least in Orlando, it's so competitive right now, and Universal is just right at Disney's heels. And we talked about it last week, where Disney parks in Orlando just don't seem to be having the refurbishment or the love that they used to, where we're noticing cracks and we're noticing all these cosmetic issues that really take away from the magic. So if they do not, reinvest in the parks, there's a good chance that there could be, slippage to competition. And I'm really curious what that's going to be, because the parks are a constant revenue stream. The parks never, they're always making money, versus if you go to the movies, you get it for a month or two, and then it goes on to Disney Plus. Or if you go do directly to Disney Plus, you might get some new subscribers, but for the most part, you don't really have a way of checking that. Versus in the parks, the money's always flowing in, because people are buying passes or food or merch or drinks, or getting getting that fast pass experience. Or sorry, Lightning Lane. It's Lightning Lane now. I got so worked up. But yeah, the
boy, they
parks
really
are
did a great
desperately-
job with that marketing, didn't they, guys?
Yeah. See,
so good,
yeah.
guys. Such a great marketing machine you made, when everybody still wants to call it Fast Pass.
Like the best change that people have gotten behind was changing Downtown Disney to Disney Springs. That one stuck after a few years, once they actually added all the enhancements. But I digress. They need to reinvest into the parks, and maybe it's going to be Daddy tomorrow, or maybe Papa Iger will do something. But as it seems right now, as long as we don't go to Pepsi, no one riots.
Oh God, please no.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
I mean, it's closer than ever now, right? With this new CFO. I mean, you can't bring in the CFO of Pepsi and expect Disney not to take a second look at the brand.
Why didn't Disney select a colored photo?
Yeah, right.
I think it makes him look younger.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Unless you're gonna see his older age.
I think as an incredibly white man, I can understand why they were like, yeah, let's not let everybody see his actual complexion.
Yes, PepsiCo veteran Hugh Johnston joining the Walt Disney Company as the new CFO after the most recent CFO took a leave of absence and resigned. And of course, a lot of that happening in the midst of Bob Chapek chaos. Christine McCarthy, that former CFO that was instrumental, as we found out via CNBC, in the ouster of Bob Chapek and the return of Bob Iger. And she's gone now, as well as the chief diversity officer of the company. Communications chief has since gone as well. Musical chairs, it sounds like, there on the Walt Disney Company. Yeah, and now we have a new CFO from Pepsi. I've always appreciated the fact that Disney parks are a Coke domain, but if they're about to get Las Vegas in here and everything's going Pepsi, I don't know how much longer I can support this.
No.
No.
Riots. It won't happen. No. This will not stand. I will not take Pepsi, and I will not take comments either. So good day, sir.
Good day, sir.
Yeah, we are done speaking. No, but in all reality, just because they hired somebody from PepsiCo doesn't mean they're gonna switch everything up like that. I mean,
yeah, I hope not.
Listen, if anything, Pepsi is gonna be like, "Yo, you just took our dude. What's going on?"
Yeah,
they're not gonna be like, "Oh, well, if you take our guy, then you need to have Pepsi in all your parks." And Disney isn't gonna be like, "Oh yeah, of course, Pepsi, no problem." They're not. That's not their.
You never know. It could be.
They don't care. They don't care. Disney doesn't care. You know how many snacks they can sell at Disney? They don't need Pepsi. Pepsi. If anything, Pepsi needs them, because here's the other thing. Here's the other thing too: is we need to remember that Also, Pepsi owns Lay's, so you know what?
Good point.
Maybe they won't have their soda in Disney, but they sure as heck have potato chips and Doritos. And hell,
Do not get rid of Miss
Can
Vicky's.
let's be real. Disneyland was the birthplace of Doritos.
Right.
So there, forever PepsiCo has a stamp on Disney. So back off, Pepsi. We don't want your beverages. We'll take your snacks. We don't want your beverages. We're gonna keep Coke Corner forever. So thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk. That's about it.
There it is. Bob Smith saying, why not go both? Why not have Pepsi and Coke at the same time?
It can't happen.
You'd have to talk to them about that.
Yeah. Contracts and relationships, going all the way back to Disneyland's founding, right? Wasn't that a story that it was originally Pepsi? At one time they tried to coexist at Disneyland, and then it was Coke who won out. And yeah, it's got a storied past, that's for sure.
It's just fair. Yeah, I don't know. It's
very West Side Story of them. I can see like Coke and Pepsi people start snapping as they walk along with each other.
It's just so interesting because you just find different places that go that skew different ways. I mean, Katrina's has a lot of family that lives in Oregon, and every time we go out there to visit them,
it's disappointing.
You cannot find Coke anywhere for like
so
Oregon.
Weird.
Oregon
it's
is a Pepsi
to see
town.
Family.
It's a Pepsi
It's
town.
so
No matter where
Pepsi.
you go, there's Pepsi, and it's just that's what it is, and you just have to deal with it. And
Yeah, you're right. We can't have the like what Terry said. We can't have like the Pepsi prison. I don't know what to call it. That's what it would
Pepsi
be.
prison?
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Pepsi Prism. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep, gotta keep that Coke Corner. That's
Pepsi
for sure.
Porch.
And Amanda's saying, too many times our family and friends have gone to the park and rides shut down continuously. This really shouldn't happen when we are paying so much money for one day. Yeah,
Boom.
and Amanda, we were talking about this at length last week, especially when it came to, this is a consistent problem, it seems, from a refurbishment perspective, things looking far less than they used to and not being kept up, and maintenance not being what it used to be, really is unfortunate. I gave the example of how the Disneyland monorail continues to just be sort of in tatters when you get into each individual cabin. It's filthy dirty, and the paneling is coming off. This was coming right out of a down period after the park reopened, and it had, what was that, a year, where the monorails just sat, and it's like nobody came in and decided to clean them, or nobody came in and decided to do any maintenance before they sent the monorails out for the sake of the new Disneyland run, coming out of the COVID restriction period. And this all stemmed from the Walt Disney World monorails being in tatters as well, going incident after incident out there that has been recorded and seen. And then, of course, last week while we were talking about how people were evacuated off of the monorail and given $200 by Disney and told thanks and kick out the windows in order to get some air because the power shut off and there was no AC. It's nuts that some of these maintenance issues, persist. And here we are talking about the future of Disney parks. It's like, well, let's maintain what we have first. What do we think?
Yeah, you have these, you make these expectations that guests,
Right.
figure out. They see it. They understand what they can expect from the money that they're spending, from the place they're going to, and then you have new management come in, and certain new management, it's their job to lower costs, figure out like how to make money in other directions, and they think to themselves, well, how can we lower costs? We'll take a little money out of here, we'll take a little money out of there. And on a piece of paper, maybe it doesn't seem like such a big deal, but as a guest who comes to Disney and realizes that every single day if this door has a scratch on it, they're gonna paint this door. If this hinge squeaks a little bit, they'll replace the hinge. If this light bulb burns out, they'll replace that light bulb the next day. Like, you start to experience these things as a guest, and you expect these things. and some person sees on a piece of paper they can save a little bit of money here or there or on the next thing, and we see it in a physical way, and it makes us
Yeah.
very sad. And we see the way that the thing that we love so much is deteriorating, and they're just seeing on a piece of paper they save 12 cents. And I think that's
Yeah.
really the problem we're suffering with right now is we have a physical representation of how much money is being spent. They have a spreadsheet that shows them how much money is being sent. So we're at this we're at odds with the managers right now, who are trying to save as much money
Yeah.
as they can.
Well,
And
in the world of medicine, you know, preventive medicine is like, oh, you know what, you're hurt, you should stretch that out, you should work on it, monitor it, you know, all that stuff. Versus my leg broke. Well, this could have been solved if we would have done small little steps. Now we've got to do something more, and it's like that with the parks. Oh, you know, some paint here and there. Let's fix that up now until later when it's completely noticeable and we have to just tear down the wall or something like that.
yeah,
But
100%.
yeah, the parks just need a little TLC and waterfalls.
And waterfalls. Yes.
The bottom line is you can't take away what you've already shown that you do. Once you start doing it, you have to keep doing it, and the people that are in charge need to realize that.
Hands down, I feel like attractions, especially at Disneyland as of late, you know, they're consistently, you know, specific ones. The ones we're looking at right now, as a matter of fact, Indiana Jones, it's like too smart for its own good. It shuts down on its own 4 times a day, it seems, you know, and there's always a wall of cast members out there saying, oh, sorry, no, yeah, we don't know when it's going to be back up. These little things that might seem, you know, inconsequential to somebody that maybe doesn't visit every now and, you know, but every now and then, I should say, and, you know, who isn't there every weekend like so many locals to see this consistently. It should be considered by folks that only go once in a blue moon, that when you do indeed make it to Disneyland and you're spending all this money, that your time is money when you are visiting. And unfortunately, what's happening more and more are these marquee attractions are down for hours at a time. And you can't plan your day appropriately because these attractions are constantly down. And what's happening is it's pushing your day into a category you didn't plan for. And now you're having to make do and figure out what to do on a whim because you can't quite decipher how you're going to make your day work from here on out. And thus, it could potentially ruin your day. Now, I know we have a lot of optimistic viewers, a lot of optimistic listeners that, you know, will always try and find, you know, the other side of this. And that is, of course, well, at least I'm at Disneyland, or at least I'm at Magic Kingdom, at least I'm at Epcot, that sort of a thing. And I couldn't agree more with that way of thinking because it is what you make it, certainly. But at some point, Disney's own standards have to be called out. And that is, they have long been the standard in the industry by their own admission. If they are not carrying out the simple maintenance things that need to happen for the sake of maintaining and keeping things online, then what are we paying for exactly? And then to talk about Disney Parks investments coming and how they're going to invest all this money and billions into the parks. Well, I would much rather you just fix what you do have and make that efficient first, and then we can talk about building and expanding, because if you're just going to forget about all those other things, what's the point? You know, and I realize that this is an environment, when you think about Disney parks, where, you know, you come with probably very big expectations, and then slowly those expectations diminish as you go throughout your day, because you realize, oh, well, I'm here with tens of thousands of people, and oh, well, I guess I can't do that, or I can't book this lightning lane, or I can't get to see this because that's already gobbled up. And so you make concessions throughout your day. Having a ride online that was not under a refurbishment schedule to begin with is an expectation of mine.
Yeah.
So to walk up and see it gone for hours at a time and then not know when it's going to be open again, not be able to plan my day, that's a real setback, especially if I'm a family of 4 and I've got kids that were really desiring that idea of getting on Indiana Jones adventure, or really excited about, I mean, God, and we've seen this time and again, haven't we? In Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and going into the most epic of all attractions now. It's almost too smart for its own good. There's too many scenes. There's too many things that have to agree with each other on that ride in order to get people on Rise of the Resistance. And so it's down most of the time too. It's really depressing to see when you're trying to plan out a trip and spend money appropriately.
Well, I feel like a special, like Rise of the Resistance is kind of a special case as well, because let's be honest, the reason you go to Hollywood Studios is to go on Rise of the Resistance.
Yes.
There is nothing to do at Hollywood Studios on an e-ticket level if you exclude Rise of the Resistance. Like,
hey,
to be honest, like
the Frozen sing-along? The Frozen sing-along. Are you serious? Wow. You lack class and
you know what?
Even Mickey
Garrett,
Minnie's is not even e-ticket level. You're right.
I apologize. You're 100% correct.
What about your favorite attraction, Smuggler's Run? That's E+.
So, Smuggler's Run is literally a slap in the face compared to Rise of the Resistance. Like, if you showed up to Hollywood Studios and you could only do Smuggler's Run,
look, there it is on the screen right now.
Chapek just he slapped you right in the face on that one, and I'm so sorry. But
a pat on the back, I got a slap in the face. I love it when the 10-year-olds drive.
But in all seriousness, no, it's just like, if Rise of the Resistance isn't working, then why are you at Hollywood Studios? And you're 100% correct, Wade, that like it hasn't worked properly since I was in years. I think it's been years. Like, I mean, you can't go on that ride and see every effect. I mean, the last time we were just there, at the end of October here, there were so many effects that weren't working properly. And it's nice that they can run that ride with, some of the effects not working. But at the same time, then you go on it and it's like kind of disappointing. It's like, wow, all of the things that are cool about it didn't even happen.
I mean, I'll give you that. I feel like it's so sad too, because Kylo Ren's been broken so often, and so like more than it's been Kylo working.
Ren,
and then this last time we were there, like all of the other effects weren't working, but Kylo Ren was working. Yeah. So then we just started cheering because this is the first time we've seen it in like over a year.
so that's
so sad.
Here we can encapsulate this whole entire conversation in one sentence right now. The final Kylo Ren worked on Rise of the Resistance, and we all cheered because we hadn't seen it in so long.
Wow, that is incredible.
That really encapsulates literally this entire conversation we're having.
We were just like, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? And then all of a sudden, our like little vehicle started turning, and we're like, "Oh my god, it's working!"
And when we all saw the AA, we were all like, "What? Yeah!" And it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like, "Wait, the ride is working as intended! Hooray!" It should be like, "No, the ride is working as intended, and this is epic." Like, it shouldn't be like, "Thank God it's working as intended." It should be like, "Oh yeah, I'm expecting this." So. You're right. It's a huge bummer, and something needs to be done, because I think they're just, again, Disney gets cocky and they see that like, oh, well, we don't need to spend money on this ride because people are still going on it. And if people are still going on it and they do a survey at the end of the day and they go, oh, what was the most incredible thing? And people go, well, the most incredible thing I did today was Rise of the Resistance. Then Disney goes, well, then why would we spend money on it?
Yeah, I can see that. Well, and Garrett, if as Bob Iger says, he wants to turbocharge growth in the theme parks. He wants to make these investments happen. Now we're hearing not until likely the end of the decade, which is unfortunate. What would you hope they would focus on first? So take maintenance out of the equation and everything we've just been talking about. In terms of a new investment, what would you want to see first?
For a new investment, I would love an original attraction. Like that's what I want. Like nothing from IP, even though that's all they say is IP. Like if we're talking something non-maintenance, something new, I want an original attraction with an original story, something that they can generate, future revenue from. As an investor, that's what I would want. But the parks right now are just sort of in this standstill where all they have is IP. They have no original ideas, and the Adventureland Treehouse that's coming, that is an exciting new enhancement. Even though it's something simple, that the ostrich is dope. I love that ostrich. I want that's my best friend. That's my
Hell yeah.
that's my homegirl right there.
I want to ride that ostrich.
Yeah. Well, they've got ostrich eggs at Kilimanjaro Safari. They haven't.
Oh yeah,
hatched in,
the very
30 years.
The extremely
Haven't
real
hatched in 30
ostrich
years.
eggs. Yeah.
One day they'll crack.
Yeah. But
just
something
like the
like
extremely
the
real
Adventureland
baobab
Treehouse,
tree.
Yeah, the Adventureland Treehouse is an amazing part of part of the SEA, the Society of Explorers and Adventurers. I would love for them to go deeper into that and explore the lore behind that, and you can turn that into movies or Disney Plus series and something like that. But like the original idea era has long gone. People think that Johnny Depp and Captain Jack Sparrow created pirates. There's my girl Jane. What's up, boo?
There
How
she
you
is.
doing? You looking
Hey,
good?
girl.
I guess that's
Anyone
probably a
touches
reference to Tarzan too, right? I didn't even think about that.
It's a throwback.
Maybe.
Her name is Jane.
But yeah, an investment in something like this original concept or ideas that have been mentioned, that sounds great to me. But yeah, they got to get the parks in order. They got to clean them up. It's like a dirty room. Sure, you can add a new bed, but if there's clothes on the floor, you're not going to get much done.
That's a good way to put it. Katrina, any sort of new investment that you would want to see out of this turbocharging of Disney parks?
I mean, just spend more love over at Disneyland. I mean, I feel like they really need another another type of hotel, and they need to kind of expand downtown Disney, even though they are trying to expand downtown Disney, but I think they're doing it in the wrong way.
With a better poolside bar and restaurant.
Well, yeah, but like they need to bring in more like quick service type of things at downtown Disney, because they're trying to do Portos. That line's going to be stupid long, and they're not really going to probably have a kitchen. So they're going to install everything and like bring everything over from the one over by Knott's Berry. And then they're going to try to bring in Din Tai Fung. Okay, well, that's great. But then there's not going to be like a side bar that you can go to. And then they're going to try to bring in this like Indiana Jones wannabe, bar restaurant type of thing. But how long is that going to take for that to actually happen? And then those drinks are probably going to be like $40 now. And then like, why can't they bring in like some type of like Polite Pig or some type of like poutine place or like a good barbecue place? Just like more options, like more fun areas that you can just go grab like a light bite and then just hang out with your friends and stuff. But then also it's just like, they just need to stop cookie cutting rides. Just bring in new stuff. It's boring.
Sure thing. And I think you're right over target with the Disneyland Forward concept and, that parcel of land that I guess has been sort of set aside or at least conceptualized to be the future of, it looks kind of Disney Springs-esque, that area that's just behind the Toy Story parking lot, that sort of section over there alongside the cast member parking lot as well. That whole pad is supposed to be an additional recreation, dining, entertainment destination. So if the investment is to be believed and the concept art is to be trusted, then it sounds like we might just be getting that. It's going to be, of course, a block away. But it sounds like we're going to be hopefully getting that.
2040.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope that they connect things appropriately between both the Disneyland main entrance and then that new development over there. We've talked about it at length before. The one thing that stands between making that happen, between Disneyland property on the harbor side and Disneyland property over on the Catella side, is the Garden Walk. The Garden Walk is the one parcel of land that can absolutely be gobbled up by Disney and be the connecting piece that they need. However, they just haven't done it yet. So maybe that's still to come. Who knows? But
I hope they would have better transportation too. Like, make the monorail actually useful.
Yeah, if the monorail
people
actually was a transportation thing that mattered, yeah. That'd be awesome.
And not just a circular ride from Tomorrowland to...
Yeah, it's an attraction right now, which we all love. Like, the monorail is fantastic. but it's an attraction, and in Disney World, it's actually more of a transportation piece, and I think that's cool. I like that.
Same here. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining me today on this Disney News Talk Live and sharing your thoughts and opinions, experiences with all of our Disney family that joined us here today, and those that will join us on demand after the fact, which the majority of you do. It means so much to be part of your weekend. And Skylar and Katrina, thank you for giving us the true insight when it comes to the Palm Breeze Bar and the Discovery Tower. My goodness. Now we know for sure SF Gate with that puff piece, it ain't really like that.
Smoking.
Say that again. You got cut off.
I don't know what they were smoking.
You don't know what they were smoking.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a different thing when you see it firsthand, huh? And very unique experience, to say the least, and hopefully they get those operational kinks figured out. I know everything. I feel like this is consistent with anything Disney related. When it's brand new, when it's in its first month, it seems, it's never what it should be.
Yeah.
It's never how they anticipate it to be.
Yeah.
You know, I
We
think
should start keeping tallies of this stuff.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I think they just get worried, and like, because I think they feel like they've stepped in the poop before, where they offer too much originally, and then they have to like backpedal from that and just make people more upset. And I think they're starting to realize, you know what? If we offered less, then we can make it better from there, and
We can deliver.
yeah. If we suck, if we
Wow.
if we just do the work, let's just deliver the bare minimum, and from there, you know what? We'll get better and better, and people will love us eventually. I think if we start at the bare minimum, it's going to be great.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely held out the bar. Like, I mean, if I showed up, I mean, I would already be disappointed if I paid. Like, I know a lot of people on Twitter too were excited to spend the weekend, like the first opening weekend at the tower, right? But the bar was closed, right?
Oh, jeez.
And that's disappointing because you're paying an astronomical amount just to stay there, and the pool bar isn't even open. And so you can't even get food or beverages. You have to walk your butt all the way to Trader Sam's if you want to drink, which is like, it's not far, but it's still like inconvenient for how much you're paying at this, like, oh, exclusive tower for DVC, you know? And then now it finally opened like a month after. And then this is what they come up with.
Yeah. They have growth to understand, and I hope
You
they'll
got
get a
very
little bit better.
greedy.
But yeah, the bar did the Palm Breeze feels very greedy, and that's kind of the thing that rubs us the wrong way. So
disappointing to hear. As always, we share with you all our own experiences to help you plan as best as you need to. However, do not allow that, I should say, in terms of preventing you from experiencing it on your own. Go experience it yourself. Maybe it'll be fixed. Maybe it will be better. Maybe they'll hear this, potentially, and, develop a system or put something in place to fix it. No doubt, if we are experiencing those issues, plenty of other people are experiencing the same issues and are likely going to share that. Before we get out of here, Tyler, tell us about this hot tub experience.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I was chilling in the hot tub, and I'm just kind of looking around, and I start to realize, like, the only thing here is this cinder block wall that then has, and then somebody said, this cinder block wall kind of sucks, guys. We should do something about this cinder block wall.
And
somebody else,
little piece of wood.
Yeah, somebody else came by and said, "Well, I could put a wood thing there," and and everybody's like, "Yeah, wood things are good. I like wood things." And then they decided to build this piece of wood on top of the cinder block wall that, and I'm just gonna tell you guys too, the spacing in between these pieces of wood isn't even. So It's the bottom piece is a different width than the top piece. It's a very interesting
It's art.
Piece
It's abstract.
of decor, and I mean, I gotta just, I know I've been really picking apart this hotel experience, to be honest with everybody, but I just have to tell you, when you're spending a lot of money, I mean, that tiny little room that we shared earlier, we got a good deal on it because we had a travel agent discount. I'm just going to be forward with
Sure.
everybody.
Yeah.
But that room would normally be minimum $600.
Oh,
So you're spending $600 on that room, and then you're coming out here to a pool that is like sandwiched in between this building and I don't know. It just doesn't feel like the most luxurious experience. I don't know
Seems
what
like
else
an
to tell people.
afterthought. Like they
So
were just like, oh shit, we need to build something. Let's just do it here. And then we'll just do this, this, and this. And like, mind you, that pool is completely shaded by like
yeah,
12 o'clock.
that
I'm
was the
not even
thing.
kidding.
That was the other thing I didn't understand, is like it was like noon, 1 o'clock, and there was no sun on the pool. So it was just, I don't know. It just, I guess the reason that I was so taken aback by it was it just feels like there were so many afterthoughts, and there shouldn't have been, when they clearly spent millions and millions of dollars on this situation.
right.
So I don't know. It was just kind of confusing to me. But I do want to point out to everybody out there in the internet land that if you've ever wanted a picture of my foot, there it is, right there on
There's his
on the bottom
logo.
left. And I just want to let you know that this is free content for everybody. You guys can take
Wow.
it and do whatever
We
you
are
want.
not that kind of. We are
You-
not that kind of channel.
Usually
we do not
people-
know.
I just want to tell you that usually people charge for this type of content. And here we
True.
are on Kingdom Report, and you all can see my foot right there, clear
Dishing
as
it out
day.
for free.
And I
Is that,
just,
is that the new character from Inside Out 2?
Toey.
anxiety, yep, anxiety for sure, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that's definitely hitting me. But yeah, this is what we do here on Kingdom Report. We have the free content for everybody, and I love you all.
These are
There's
services
the,
we provide for you, the viewer, because we want
Yeah.
you to have that extra special time. Other channels don't do that service. We
no,
do.
this is nothing that you'll ever see on any other channel. So
Toes for
Welcome.
you. That's what it's all about. Bless you, Teller, for being in the giving mood this holiday season.
Do a barrel roll.
Oh my.
Oh wow, Star Fox. I like that.
Jeez.
hell yeah, Garrett, I love you. All right.
I love Star Fox, except I'm very bad at it.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me.
That's okay.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, you all coming together for this edition of Disney News Talk Live means so much, as always. Great to talk to you, and thank you again for sharing your experiences there at the new Discovery Tower at the Disneyland Hotel and weighing in on all the news topics like you did, Garrett, Tyler, Katrina. I am excited to be back with you in studio next week for a new
Yay.
edition of Kingdom Report Live. Yes, we'll get to see each other once again. Of course, Garrett, maybe one day, but you'll just still be virtual. I'm sorry.
I'll be somewhere, at some time, at some place.
You've said a
I'm
lot
the
without
golden
saying
goose.
anything.
I'm the golden
gotta
goose.
fly.
I gotta fly. I'm like a peacock.
I'll be back.
Oh wow! Hi Arnold.
He sure will. He'll be back next
I'll be
Saturday,
back.
along with the rest of us. Along with the rest of us, for an all-new edition of Kingdom Report Live, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, next Saturday, right here on the Kingdom Report YouTube channel. Well, make sure you are subscribed. Hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already. It has been a real pleasure to be with you as long as we have for Disney News Talk Live. We like to go a little bit longer on these broadcasts when we can't see you on camera, and we are bringing to you the comments and the perspective. It's always fun to be able to go a little bit more long form. I don't think we would have been able to get as in-depth on the Tyler Katrina experience at the Discovery Tower and the Palm Breeze Bar if we were on camera, because we're certainly time constrained when we're in studio. But here we have a little bit more of an ability to chat it up. So thank you all for bringing your A game today.
Absolute pleasure.
It's always a pleasure hanging out with
An
all you
honor.
guys. We love it, and thank you to everybody who continues to watch us as well. It's always so nice to see you all in the chat, and just the support that you give us. It means a lot to us, and I think I speak for the team when I say that you guys are the reason for the season. You're why we do it, and we greatly appreciate you all.
Ho, ho,
Um,
ho.
And thanks, Wade, for
Mhm.
doing
This
all of this, Monsieur Author.
Oh, yes.
Yes, yes.
Monsieur. Yeah, go
My-
check
We
out
need to
that man's
add
book.
we need to add PhD at the end of his name so that we get the even higher accreditation.
Yeah, and we all have the power to give him a PhD, so let's make it happen.
Right. Honorary
Mhm.
PhD.
Yeah.
We'll
think they
get you
gave
that
one to
PhD
Jimmy
from
Fallon.
Delta College.
Right. They just hand them out
Yeah,
there,
those-
don't they, Garrett?
Yeah, yeah. People don't even know what that is. You and I know what Delta College is.
Our humble community college experience. Blessings, that's for sure. Well, as always, see you again next week, friends. You remember the legacy of Walt Disney. It lives on because of people like you and me. Have yourself a wonderful day.